So, stage 4 of the small bedroom restoration. What we've decided to do is the floor, leave the floor in and tile on top of it. So we're just tidying up the floor now, getting all the lumps and bumps off of it. The reason we're leaving it in, it's perfectly flat. There's quite a big lip there anyway, so we can go up a level of a tile, and they're all sound. So we did some extensive research on Google and YouTube, and it's basically good to leave that floor down. We won't in the main house part, but we're going to in here. So we've taken the door off to get easy access to the room, and the basic plan is going to be to run a line of tiles across there. These are the tiles we're using, which are sort of wood effect ceramic tiles. They were €10.50 per square metre, and we think they're going to hopefully look really good in the room. And obviously they're going to look like wood, but because they're not wood, they're not going to expand or contract or soak up water. So the plan is to lay it across the room. We'll start at this edge, leave the small alcove bit till afterwards, and just go across the room. Now the room is not square, so I've got to see how this first row lines up before I cement it down. Got a bag of cheap Cinza, which I think is grey, tile cement. I'm not planning to have any gaps between the tiles, just lay them all in a row, and I'll do an update as we go through the tiling. That's my tile cement, €4.50 for that giant bag. I've given it a mix, just with water. I made it quite firm, a little bit more mixing in, and I'll have a go at putting the first couple of layers of tiles down. So here's my setup. I've got the first couple of rows of tiles lined up. Sort of the grain matches, but I think they all match together anyway. I've got a tile cutter that the previous owner left at the house, a dustpan and brush. There's a spade behind there for chipping out, but I think I've got all the lumps. I've mixed up my cement, tile cement, got a spreader, and I bought this little tile cutter as well. It's got a ceramic blade in it. I bought it from the UK. It was only 20 quid, so hopefully that'll cut out any awkward shapes or thin bits. And as always, I've got my lamp shining on the ground. So I'm going to try and get the first couple of layers down. So I'm just sweeping off the dust from the floor in this area. Just lay some cement on the floor and then give that a spread over. I'm just going to start with one tile, I think, to start with. So get the spreader. Just spread that out. And that should give me the perfect setting position to put the first tile, which I'll do now. So I've laid the first tile in. Just going to set the second tile on top of that. I'm not tapping down, I'm just laying them in a line for now. I've already got some cement on the tile, so I'm going to get a cloth and make sure I wipe all that off before I continue. So I'll show the next video will be the end of the first row and the second row in. So I'm cutting the tile with this tile cutter. Going across about 10 times. Well, that was about 6 times and cut straight off. So really well. And now I'll look to lay that in the end of here. I'm just setting in place the one at the end of that row. I should go and get a cloth now. I'll wipe that all over and see if Jackie approves of what's going on. It's actually working out quite well because I'm now going to follow this pattern. So start with the next long tile at this end, but it's leaving like a middle of the tile cut almost. A little bit like the ceiling, there's going to be a cut tile or a cut piece of wood, and that should hopefully follow as much to a line as possible down that room. But yeah, that was lucky. I just nibbled out that corner of that tile with my tile cutter. Once I've got through the room, I shall look at this area, doing that separately. But we are going to have a big chest of drawers going there, so I will tile it, but I'm going to concentrate on that at the end. Okay, so about halfway through. This probably is the channel for how not to do things. After starting this, I realised it would have been a better idea to start over that corner, because every time I want to come out, I have to walk over the tiles, but they're all settled pretty well, so it's not too bad, and I keep wiping them over. But so far, so good, in a way. So I've got to the end, and I need to cut the tiles in half. So I've got this disc cutter, which happens to have a nice little laser pointer on it. So I've marked it with my line and just cutting through, but it is extremely noisy. Probably going to take me a few minutes to cut through each tile. That's the end of the day tiling. It's about 6 hours. Giving it a wipe down. Hopefully they'll all set okay. I think they're looking really nice. All in all, the cost of this floor was about €72 for the tiles, the cement and the spreader. Ended up, I broke one tile. I ended up with about 8 or 10 third of the tiles left. I used every full tile. So I measured it as 4.2 square metres and bought 5 boxes, which added up to 5.4 square metres. So a little bit of waste, probably what they recommend or is standard. But we'll give that another clean down later, and then tomorrow set about tidying it up and painting. So I'm just grouting up the floor. Already been over an hour getting to this stage, just over halfway through the room. It's going on pretty well. It's obviously going to need a big clean up afterwards, but going to get this grouting finished using this tiny little pointing trowel, I think, that I found in the shed. And then once that's dried in, and I'll go over and give the floor a good clean, get some of the remaining cement marks off of it. Okay, that seemed to clean up quite well. But as with cement, it'll probably show up again. Probably need doing a few times. But let that dry, see how bad it is, and then give it another clean. But overall, really pleased with it. I'm not sure I'd tile on top of tiles again. They're not always as smooth as you think. And some of it was difficult to get cement to stick on, but it looks like it's going okay so far. So I just put on the first coat of paint. This is outdoor breathable paint, it's got a breathable cylinder on it. Just down there. So it's going on really well. Keep it away from the rocks. We're using the old shower curtain as a floor protector. Just on these two walls for now. I'm going to go around the whole of the room and give it the first coat. But certainly changing the look of it. And the concrete showing through, all the cement, lime cement. Extremely rustic, but we're still pleased. So that's the first coat on with a roller. Gone quite well, had a few problems. Oh yeah, we have painted the shutters blue. We've had 2 coats so far. And done the inside of the windows. So it's gone on, we love the look. I think it already looks good, so let alone when we finish it around the stones properly. And it looks really warm colour with our lighting. You can really see the difference in white and this colour Pedro. We've renamed that Portuguese Magnolia, but it does look white when you first see it. Had a bit of a problem with some of the paint peeling at the bottom, so stop painting that so much, and also my plastering not looking so good, but maybe going to put a thicker coat of paint on for that area and address why this paint is peeling. May have to peel some paint off at the bottom. But end of the second day, floor's done, still needs another clean, and first coat of paint on just to dry, and the shutter's done. So making progress, continue tomorrow, let that dry overnight. Going around the rocks and the edge with a small paintbrush and using a roller. This is the second coat of paint we're putting on, the first edging coat. Delicate work, but going well. Again, I recommend this paint. Nuance Extreme. We've gone for this Pedro colour. Weather resistant, but also porous, so you can use it indoors as well. So this wall's coming up okay after its first coat. Just gonna look at the flaking paint at the bottom and take some of that off. But carrying on with layer 2 of the paint. So the edging is all complete. Coat 1. I seem to be dealing with the bottom section of the wall okay. Just peeling off the flaky bits and putting another layer of paint on. And yeah, stones are really popping nicely. I think we are going to get maybe like a varnish to go over the stones at the end, or a sealer. Second and third coat applied. Quite tricky around the windows. And we've done the top of the concrete plinth around the bottom. Next stage would be to put the bottom of that in. The stones are going really well. Hard work, and we're looking at trying some varnish on them soon. But going to plan, just taking a long time. This is sort of the third day of the floor and walls. So we took the door off and stained it up a nice darker colour. We're quite pleased with the door, going to keep it I think for a while. We also bought a second-hand bunk bed that was quite a light colour. So we've stained all that up into the same colour as the ceiling. We're going to assemble that in the room now. So here's a quick 360 of the room. And stage 1 of bunk bed assemble, which we're about to begin.
But we need
Bottom bunk assembled. We're now going to try and attach the top bunk without putting the slats in because we want to walk inside. Plus we've got some brackets to strengthen it. Okay, top bunk, bottom bunk assembled. We've added these brackets at each corner, make it a bit sturdier. Working out the ladder based on the rungs and the hole on this side. So that hole's gone in there, that hole's going in there. I think we've mastered the ladder assembly. Next, we'll be on to the bars at the back. So the room is finished, doors back on, freshly varnished. We got this little drawer unit as part of 5 furniture items, including a pull-out bar for €140. There's the look of the stones behind the door there, the shutters, the windowsill. Really pleased with that. In the evening, there's a full sunset over that hill. A lot of times red sky at night. We've just put that chair in there for now, but we're probably going to get a wooden one. Look around the room. There's our bunk beds. They look great. There's just enough room in here to stand around. A little chair, chest of drawers. May put a rail or something across there to hang clothes from, but we don't want a wardrobe. And we fitted these 2 little lights that go next to the bed, as well as still got the big light in the room. Overall, we're really pleased with how it's turned out. This room was something you didn't want to go into. It smelled awful, it looked awful, and at least now it's sort of welcoming. We're probably going to dress these bed up in Portuguese style bedding, and we can't wait to have our first visitors. And we've beaten our deadline. We had until the 24th of Feb, so we've made it with about 2 weeks to spare. Next project is going to be guttering. We're expecting rain on Sunday, and I'm going to be putting gutters on the house. Probably going to take me a few days. So a final look at our bedroom from outside, looking in through the window. You can see it's really quite cosy. We're amazed with what we've done. Probably all in all about 100 hours work altogether. It's cost around €500. That includes €200 for the beds, about 150 on the ceiling. The floor was 70, and the walls probably about 30 in paint and cement. And then I'd probably 50 for the chest of drawers, even though it didn't cost us that. But yeah, really pleased, and thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and see you on the next video.